as this series goes on, it becomes clear that it's just as much about Chester as it is about home. And today, the longest running rivals in the history of this series clash again in the League One playoff semi-finals. Kind of hope we both lose so that we can both stay in League One and continue the rivalry next year. Hello and welcome to part 72 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have both legs of the League One playoff semi-finals against Chester. We're playing at home first, then we're playing away. We are without the playoff hero of 2 years ago, Lewis Tyler, who's going to be missing at least the first leg, probably the second leg as well, but could potentially be fit for Wembley. Mr. Wembley might be fit for Wembley if we get there, but we are going to be without Fernandez and Paljek, who are both injured. So this is the team that we're going to be playing. It's a very familiar team to those of you who've watched the last couple of episodes. We've got Humphreys in goal, Pasala, Proctor, Sutherland and Simpson as our back four, Phillips, Perry and Sawinski in midfield, and then Harris, Marsh and Stanley up front. I'm a little nervous, but ultimately keep reminding myself that getting promoted would be a disaster. The only reason I kind of want to win is because it's Chester and I don't want them to get one over on us. In fact, there you go, we owe Chester from what happened last time, because we really do, because they're the reason we haven't gone up automatically. They ruined our season. They knocked the stuffing out of us just as things looked like they were really going to be going well for us this season. Chester spoilt our fun, as they have done many times in the past. But I'm sure we'll all agree we're absolutely not ready for the Championship. If we manage to backdoor our way into promotion, I think we all need to... I'm going to set expectations now. If we get promoted this season, we are going to get relegated next season. I know there have been plenty of times when we've been in danger of relegation. This isn't one of those times. We will definitely be relegated next year if we get promoted this year. Thankfully, Chester don't want us to go through that pain and have decided to go 1-0 up, so that we don't have to worry about getting relegated next year. We can just go up as champions and then have a chance of staying up. But even then, we'll probably come back down again. I think it's possibly the hardest promotion in Football Manager, League One into the Championship. Certainly with a small team. Obviously, if you've got a bunch of money and a load of fans, then it's a little bit easier to do. But if you're a team who's come up from the non-league, scratching and clawing your way up, that jump from playing in League One, which is kind of similar to League Two, which is kind of similar to the Conference, to being in the Championship, which has got half a dozen teams in it that are full of Premier League players and £10 million transfers. It's like walking into a different world. It's even bigger than the jump between the Championship and the Premier League. Right, let's be aggressive. No, let's not be aggressive. We want to dig in and win this match. Absolutely we do. We can't even fill the Serenic Nuhu Stadium for a game like this. Only 2,500, not even 2,500 people here for a playoff semi-final. Yet another reason why we're just not ready to get promoted. Until we can fill this ground on a regular basis, we shouldn't be even thinking of the Championship. Harris finds Perry. Ball over the top to Marsh. Marsh is through on goal and Carl Marsh scores. And it's home 1, Chester 1. Cartwheels from Marsh. It's nice having a proper goal scorer up front for the first time in a number of seasons, because he gets chances and then scores goals, which is handy for a striker. Lovely finish from Marsh. We probably need to be looking into getting him here on loan next year as well, because he's been largely responsible for the upturn in form that's allowed us to be in these playoffs in the first place, because his goals have just been very important, and we've conceded another one. Well, it's his first goal for Chester as well. Goodie for Dylan Ruffles. I don't want to see him do it again. Stupid replays. Right, what do we do? Remember, this is a 2-leg affair, so I don't think away goals count for anything in the playoffs. So he's getting sent off. Excellent stuff. So I don't think it necessarily matters that they've got 2 away goals. But obviously we would like to not be losing going back to their place. I'm going to take off Harris, and you know what? We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. We're doing this because it's been working, sort of. It didn't really work in the last match, but we're gonna try it today. If it doesn't work now, I promise we'll never try this again, because it did only work once. But we need a goal. They're down to 10 men. Why not stick 3 strikers up front? Marsh is in again, forces a save out of the Chester keeper. This is where we need some passion as well. If we can get a shout in there, let's show some passion. Let's, with our 3 strikers, go and grab several goals. Several goals would be nice. We're playing against 10 men, for goodness sake. Pasala's had a terrible game. I think we might need to have a little nose around to see what we've got as an option to play at left back in the next game, because I don't think Pasala is the man to do it. We're going to push him into midfield and play 3 central midfielders on attack. Do you want to be something else? You be a Mazzala then, so I don't look like a complete idiot. And we probably need to go attacking. Pasala hits the post. He might have saved his spot in the team if he'd have scored there, but he didn't, so he hasn't. Get creative. Come on, we're playing against 10 men. There's got to be another goal in us somewhere. I don't think there is there? Poppycock. Well, we've left ourselves with it all to do in the second leg. Let's get angry. That wasn't good enough. We're gonna need to backdoor this bad boy. Yeah, we really didn't have much option to replace Pasala at left back. If we have a little look, this is where we're regretting selling Webber. Outside of Paljak, we could play a midfielder there, or someone I've never heard of, or a centre back. So Pasala keeps his place. Sinclair's going to come in on the right hand side of midfield. Let's see if he's going to be the difference maker for us. I suspect he won't be, and I think our season probably ends here. And it's ended with another example of we just don't quite have a strong enough squad in certain areas. The fact we've had to play Anthony Harris out of position on the left wing for the last 6 games because Tyler's injured is a problem. The fact we don't have depth behind Paljak at left back is a problem. So, yeah, it's probably for the best. I expect you to come back after the match as finalists. Yikes. Let's just try revenge again. Always revenge. And maybe one day we'll actually get our revenge. But I suspect we're going to be sending Chester off on their merry way to Wembley after this game, and in hoping that they lose, because we can't have them go up before us. We have to go up together. That's the way the series works. It ruins everything if they start getting promoted without us. I think, to be fair, they're in a similar boat to what we are. Probably Oxford are too. I think of the 4 teams in the playoffs, the only ones who could realistically cope with life in the Championship are Barnsley. And Barnsley works best for us as well, because it means it's more likely that we'll get Eric Fernandez back on loan. So we're now back in Barnsley, especially because we're 3-1 down on aggregate because they've scored after 28 minutes. And, yeah, I think that's that now, isn't it? We'll try some passion. We're going to have 10 minutes of passion? No, it's just going to be 15 minutes of anxiety instead and frustration. We went for passion, and it's literally just given us anxiety and frustration. There has been nobody cares. I've asked them for passion too many times. It had literally no impact there. Let's do a passionate team talk then, and see it now. We're done. We're tired. We're spent. We've had enough. We've dominated possession, but we're not doing anything with it. And Chester are just happy for us to have the ball, knock it around amongst ourselves, and not be any threat at all. And who can blame them? We're going to bring Mick Powell on in a minute, and probably for Marsh actually. And it's going to be too late if we concede another one. There's not even any point in doing that. Right, Harris down this left-hand side. Can he muster something up? Finds Ken Sinclair, who crosses back to Harris. Harris, I thought we'd have it there, but apparently not. Perry with the corner. Right, it's time for Mick Powell. Very early for Mick Powell. He's going to be shattered by the end of the game, but he's going to come on to go up front. We're going to stick Harris up alongside him. We've got to try something different. We're going old school. Those of you who were watching 5 seasons ago know what's coming. Have we got anyone who can help me do it? Connor Stanley, I think, is the man. Look at that. Talk about old school home. This is how we did it back in the Northern Premier League days. Do we still remember how to do a diamond? Connor Stanley having to play as an attacking midfielder, probably not ideal, but the three up front hadn't been working, so let's try something different again. And Chester coming at us again and scored again, and it doesn't matter anymore because we're not going to score 3 times, are we? Mick Powell hat-trick, and me having to eat a big piece of humble. If Mick Powell scores a hat-trick now, I'll take back everything I've ever said about him, and I'll change my name to Mick Powell by deed poll. I really hope he doesn't now. I don't want to do that. That's going to be such a weird conversation to have to have with my kids. Yeah, my name's now Mick Powell. No, it's not even first name Mick, second name Powell, just one name, Mick Powell, all one word. Swinski's been rubbish. How do I get him off the pitch? Oh, Pendlebury can come on for him. And have we done a shout? I don't even know what we shouted. Did I tell him to get creative? It's a bit late for that, really, isn't it? Let's try and be attacking. Let's push forward. They're frustrated. You're frustrated because I'm asking you to attack when we need to score 3 goals. You bunch of idiots. You bunch of idiots. Well, Chester apparently didn't need Richie Wellens. I hope our board aren't watching. They might think they don't need me. You do need me, home board. And yeah, that's a sad end to a massively overperforming season. Let's remember that. Let's keep that in context. We were supposed to get relegated. We've made it all the way through to the playoffs. And we can't really... I've annoyed them all by saying, don't worry about it. Well, you didn't want to attack during the game, and now you're grumpy after the game. What more do you bunch of numbskulls want? Well, at least we get to have a season review on Monday, eh? Oh, and there's a very high injury risk to Shane Phillips as well. We'll come back stronger next season, and we're just hoping Barnsley can go up and let us keep Loic Fernandez. That's important too. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.